What's up, everybody? Welcome back to EVE Online. We're going to be doing some exploration, and I've got it all laid out for us here. I've got some jumps through low security space, and then I'm taking us back to where we're at here and where we've been dumping our goods. And then I'm going to go back to where my ships are so I can do some of these missions here for the agency and see whether that's worth doing and worth putting time into. So I've got some easy missions here, and I figure I'll go back and check those out. But first video, we'll do some exploration and see what we can find. If we can't find anything, I may jump into a wormhole and see what kind of trouble we can get into. So that said, let me check and make sure I've got everything offloaded from our last trip, which I do. Yeah, so while I'm doing that, and while I'm undocking to get us on our way, you should check out the Errant Gamer podcast, which goes up live, or at least gets recorded live, every Monday or Tuesday. Usually it's Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific. You can hop on Twitch and join in and participate there. We love getting listener questions and trying to build a community around it. So it's a podcast I host with a couple friends of mine, and we would love to have your involvement. Otherwise, you can find it later in the week, like a day after it's been recorded. It goes up onto iTunes or Stitcher or TuneIn or any of the other sort of podcast hosting directories. There we go. Boy, it's a mouthful. And you can find it there. So check that out. We just talk about games and game industry, game news. We're all kind of functional adults, so we've got real lives and families that we need to juggle as well. And so it's kind of a little bit, I want to say it's a little bit more mature look at the industry and all of that, but I'm obviously biased, and I think I get a real kick out of doing it, so you might enjoy listening, and we would love your involvement as well. So that's that. So with that out of the way, we'll just start scanning once we get into it. I've got both dogs here with me, so if you hear dog sounds, that's probably why, because dogs make dog sounds, and that's just how it goes. We've got some house guests, so they are in here with me. It's Labor Day. We're going to hit a barbecue a little bit later, and hopefully that will be nice as well. So last time, if you recall, we found some higher difficulty, archaeology sites to get into, and we struggled with them as a result, and we lost some of them, but overall we pulled down 1.8 million, which is not bad, all things considered, at least for high security space. I know we were in low security space, but yeah, that's just how it goes. They're baking cheesecake out there, so you'll have to excuse the sounds of happy baking that are going on. Alright, so this is a wormhole, and just because it's early, I might as well get into this before I've got loot to lose. So I'm going to scan this down and go in and take a look. And while I do that, I'm going to click over and figure out what I need to do to learn about the wormholes that I find. We'll just keep shrinking that. Get a little bit closer. Get a little bit closer still. Scan that down. So going into wormholes is a little bit tricky, and so in order to do this and be a little bit more safer, as safe with it as we can be, I am going to save this location as Sarin Wormhole 1. Alright, and this is, here, let's rename it. Sarin System Wormhole 1 entrance. There we go. And we will warp there. I'm the only person in local right now. So, yeah, Alabel, we're going to get into some dangerous stuff today. Yeah, I'm going to pull local up here just so that as I'm scanning I can see, although since I'm going into wormhole space it doesn't matter. if you don't speak in local when you're in a wormhole, nobody will know that you're there unless they can scan you down, which a lot of times they can. So we're going to approach it, but while we do, we're going to look at the information here. It is a X702, and that alone will tell us some information. Let's see, the max stable time is 24 hours, so wormholes of this kind usually collapse after a few days and can lead to anywhere. It seems to lead into unknown parts of space. Maximum stable mass is 1 billion kilograms. So that's the amount that can pass through it before it closes. It's beginning to decay and probably won't last another day. That's fine because the maximum, it's only 24 hours. And larger ships, it's not had its stability altered. All right, so we are going to enter the wormhole. Yes, we understand it's very dangerous. We got our probes back. Now, first things first is okay, so there are a couple units here you can see on the directional scan. There's a bunch of cosmic signatures, so first things first, we save the location of the exit wormhole. Wormhole exit to Saren. All right, and we look up. I'm just going to get myself going in one direction super fast in case somebody else comes to this wormhole. And I am here when that happens. I don't want to be within firing range, so I'm going to be traveling off at 3,000 some odd kilometers a second. We're going to type in J152044, and it is a class 3 wormhole. All right, in here it has reductions to tracking range, tracking speed, reductions to target painter strength, and drone tracking, but it has increases to damage and missile explosion radius. That doesn't affect us, but it's a class 3, which means it's going to be relatively difficult in here. And let's see. So one thing that we should do is we should warp 2. All right, we're going to start setting up safe spots. So I'm going to warp, let's see.
Warp drive active.
Add location. Oh. Okay, so that's where I saved one safe spot. And we're going to pick another planet or moon or something. And we're going to warp to, let's say, 100.
Warp drive active.
We're going to add a location. And we're going to see our little icon move. We'll drop a second safe spot there. And alright, so we don't see any ships here yet. We'll just grab one of these. We'll grab a moon to 50 kilometers.
Warp drive active.
And we'll drop it somewhere there. That's nice. So we've got 3 kind of generic safe spots saved. And let's see here. I'm just going to go and save one more.
Active.
And I'm not going to drop it as close to the other. There we go. All right. So I've got a few items here. All right. And again, I'm going to just get myself moving. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to start scanning. And while we do so, I'm going to be constantly hitting V here to directional scan. So I've got these safe spots. These aren't like the super safest spots. I don't know if you've seen some of the videos I've made. I made this video on like how to create the best safe spots possible. And I did not go as deep as you probably should when you do these things. But I'm not an inexpensive ship, and I don't want to spend all of the time in this video making safe spots. So I'm not going to. And I don't have a lot to lose. I've got like 650K tied up in this ship right now, and I can easily replace that. So one of the biggest lessons is to always save the wormhole exit. So let's see. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to scan down a bunch of things here, but we will just keep trying. So usually what you can do is you can just sort of get yourself into cloak when you're in here. It doesn't matter where you are as long as you're not right next to a spot that, here, let's center ourselves up a bit more. Shrink it down. And try to perfect this. I don't think I'm going to be able to scan this down, but I should be able to get to the point where I see the difficulty and I can see whether I'm able to or not. Okay, so that's a data site. I think it's probably going to be too hard for us to nail down, but we will keep trying. Now it's also like important that you're not just looking for other people. Okay, so you see how this says unsecured frontier database, and there's no name of there's no pirate name in there, and it's difficulty 3, so we're going to be able to scan it down. That means that there are enemies there. So if we show up, we are going to have a bad time of it because I don't have any combat capability, and so we're not even going to give that a try. But if I Googled that, I could tell you exactly what it is that's there. All right, so we scan that down. Let's get our probes over here. We'll just bring it there. Blow that up a little bit more. So while that's doing it, so I just Googled it. First thing that came up on it tells me there are 4 different waves that end in battleships. So yeah, I think that's what we're trying to scan down. Drop that a bit more. And I am actually going to warp to this safe spot because it puts me closer, and with my directional scan will tell me kind of what's going on there. So let's see, that one's the highest, and we will continue to tighten our scan around it. Okay, no ships yet. Actually, let's just do all. Let's do not all. Let's do yeah, all right, PvP, that's good. All right, so that's a wormhole. And I'm going to scan down everything here. And I will explain why shortly. I should have shrunk that. Okay. So if I came in from high security space, which I did, if somebody is in here, they've probably already scanned down or came in from that exit entrance. And so if they find me and they decide they want to kill me, they can do so merely by hanging out by the wormhole exit. And because they know that that's the way I'm going to have to come. And that's generally the way I will run if scared. So we'll save this location to exit 2. And I've done some searching on the internet to figure out like a good naming convention for wormholes and bookmarks and things, but I never came up with anything. So once we've scanned everything down, I'll pull my probes back in so that other people scanning can't see them like this and won't know that I am here. That's a 0, so we'll and then we'll just kind of visit each one to see where it goes, because you can pretty easily get stuck or caught in a multi-chain jump through wormholes, because a lot of wormholes go to other wormholes, so you're like wormholes within wormholes within wormholes. So that's a gas site. I'm not going to spend any time or energy scanning that down because I don't have the 50 million ISK skill to take advantage of that. So what I can do is I can ignore that result. All right. Now, yeah, we will also end up scanning down the wormhole that we came in. Oh, that's bad. I screwed that up. I'm not going to sit in one spot. I'm going to be moving. So if somebody does scan me down, they will scan the location I was at, and if they warp to 0, at very least, they'll not drop right on top of me. However many seconds it takes them to warp in is multiply that by 3, and that's how far away from them I'll be, and I will keep moving. So by the time they get there, they should be at least 15, 20, thousand or kilometers away from me, and I'll be opening that gap as fast as I can and trying to warp out. So safety is the name of the game. Safety first. Alright, that wormhole is almost scanned down. We could probably just drop it like so. Center it up. Now by coming in here, if I do find anything, and hopefully I will, I might not, it might just be all wormholes in here. But if I don't, or if I do, they will be difficult. More difficult than low security space, that's for sure. Let's see. All right. And nope. Drag this over here. Drop it like so. I'm still only scanning my own like detecting my own probes in the directional scanner. Okay. The nice thing also about doing this with an alpha character is that I have no, like a lot of times, even if you're only in a 40 million ISK ship and you can spare that kind of money, your implants are worth far more than your ship. So I've got on the characters that I used to play in Omega, they've got plus, I think +3 or +4 +3 or +4 implants in, which total to like 120 or 150 million. They're like 30 million each. And so getting blown up as a getting podded, which is getting your pod blown up, destroys and loses all of those implants, that's the big cost. So you might just lose a 40 to 50 million ISK ship, but you may also lose another 120 to 150 million ISK worth of implants, and that hurts. That really hurts. So there's another unsecured data site that we're not going to be visiting, but again, the reason why that is because there's no, if there was the name of a pirate group in that, then it would be something that we could visit and not be attacked by NPCs. Let's see, do we already? Yeah, we encompassed that. So we've got 2 data sites that we've scanned down. Now I haven't saved them because I don't plan on visiting them. But if you were in a Stratios, that might be something that you could do. Let's see. All right, we'll take it down another notch. And you'll notice that little boom. That's the same, that's me just constantly pinging the directional scanner. And the hotkey for that is V, as in very. All right, we got another wormhole that we're gonna get down on. Scan that, and then we've got 2 more left. And because it's a class 3 wormhole, it may be that all of the things, all of the data sites and such that we would be able to scan down are going to be defended. Just because the class 3 is much harder than, here, let's see, we'll save that location. All right. We'll just come up here. Actually, let's try starting it at that point with 2 AU. Still nobody on scan. See, this is slightly nerve-wracking. Oh, we got another wormhole. Okay. And this green sphere here, that's my directional scanner. All right, so we'll save that as well. And we'll come over here. Go. Hopefully this will be something. If not, yeah, we'll just. I know. Go lie down, Elabelle. Lie down. All right, I think think we need to make that bigger. Still nothing. And I changed it over back to my general overview to see if any other players show up there. Although hopefully they would show up on my directional scanner. Okay. But not necessarily. If they drop their cloak here, they would be able to just show up on right at the last second on general as they were targeting me. There's like a 2 or 3 second delay after you drop out of cloak where you can't do anything, you can't target anybody. But that's not much of a consolation. Alright, we got a relic site. I think we should be able to scan that down as well. Although whether we will want to go in there or not. Yeah. Forgotten. Okay, so we'll search that as well. Let's see. Forgotten Frontier Quarantine Outpost. There we go. And we'll open that up. Yep, and another 4 waves ending in battleships. Okay, so I'm not even going to waste the time. I'm going to suck in my probes here. And I'm going to start visiting the wormholes here. One of them is going to be the same as my exit to Saren. And I'm just, as I fly around, I'm just going to keep No, Elabel. Alright, let's see here. Okay, so what we can do then is we can just look at this. Show info, I know. Deep in space leads to unknown parts of space. Okay, so that's another wormhole. So we can warp to 100 at
Warp drive active.
N968. Yeah. Still nothing in here, or nobody anyway. D845. Alright, this one leads to high security space. I would guess this is... Oh, what? Hey, that's enough. She's had surgery and she doesn't want to play with you. Hey! No. So I'm just going to approach it, since worst thing that happens is we pop through and we're in high security space. I should probably turn on my stupid. D845. Okay, see how this popped us out here, and now we're 38 jumps from where we were. Right? See, that's interesting stuff. So that would be a good way to relocate ourselves and a lot of our equipment pretty quickly. If we map this out and we're like, oh yeah, Shastal. So okay, there we go. And we will warp to 100 from there.
Active.
Okay, so this is back to Saren. Right, and so that's, we can just remove that. And we'll see where this goes.
Warp drive active.
So this is where we came in. Here, Elabelle, why don't you go play with everybody else? You're a good girl, Bailey. You stay here. Nurse that leg. All right. Still nothing on directional scan. We'll show info. And this also leads to high security space. So that's pretty interesting. Now, this is a great way, by the way, to find null security space that's relatively uninhabited. Is you just kind of hop around in wormholes, figure out where, like find one that drops in a null security space, and then hang out in there, explore until your heart's content, until your cargo's full, then get into a wormhole and find your way back to high security space. I say that like it's easy, and overall it kind of is, but you can very easily get yourself killed with a cargo full of this stuff. Oh, this dropped us in Saren as well. Okay, well, so I'm going to end the video here, but that's wormhole exploration in a nutshell. I'm going to do some jumps and go on out and see if I can't find something else, but that's pretty much what it looks like. You go in, you make some safe spots, you hang out at one of them, but you keep flying as fast as you can in a direction. If you don't have a cloak anyway. And you just kind of try to be as smart about it as you can. Scan down all the wormholes, scan down all of the relic and data sites to make sure that, you know, they turn into things that you might want to be interested in. And if they're not, leave them be. Remove them from your, you know, from your little scanner view so that you don't get confused. And then be sure to just bookmark everything. Pull your probes back in so that people don't scan them down and know that you're there. But otherwise, that's kind of the long and short of it. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.